Here, so we will take a couple of minutes, see if we can get that to come up.
I went to the village website.
Yeah, go to the village website and you can do
And you can do it, if you do view agenda, it comes up.
The first item anyways is I'm going to call the public hearing to order for Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. Ask the village clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Bishke?
Present.
Trustee Madej?
Present.
Trustee Dunham?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan?
Present.
Trustee Conley?
Present.
Trustee Kozak?
Here.
President Daly?
Present. All present and accounted for. Next item is new business. It's a public hearing for establishment of Verde Estates dormant special service area, and I'm going to ask the village attorney to walk us through this one, please.
Yes, thank you. So this is a proposed special service area for the Verde Estates. It's a dormant special service area, which will be explained as I go through what this is about. The proposed area includes the Verde Estates subdivision, which is generally located at the southwest corner of Thacker Street and Verde Drive in the village of Schaumburg. The entire property is located within the R7 single-family residence district zoning classification in the village. The purpose of the SSA is to be a dormant SSA. The purpose of the formation of the Schaumburg Verde Estates Special Service Area 1 is to fund the village of Schaumburg's cost of maintaining, repairing, reconstructing, and/or replacing the common areas on the above described property in the event that the owners of the property, through their association, fail to maintain, repair, reconstruct, and/or replace the common areas within the property, including but not limited to the water mains, the stormwater management improvements as required by the village of Schaumburg Village Code. So in other words, the SSA will only be used if it becomes necessary. The expectation is that the homeowners association will do a good job maintaining these areas, but this is a backstop to be able to use levy authority if necessary. The dormant SSA would allow for the levy of a direct annual tax at a rate not to exceed $2.50 per $100 of equalized assessed value of the property in the Verde Estates Special Service Area 1 for each year during which the village is required to expend funds relative to the special services, so long as the common areas in Verde Estates exist. As taxes will not be levied until such time, if any, as the village actually expends funds for the special services, it is currently unknown as to the actual amount of the taxes that will be levied for the initial year, if any, for which taxes will be levied within Verde Estates Special Service Area 1. However, any such initial tax levy shall not exceed the maximum tax rate of $2.50 per $100 of equalized assessed value of the property. The aforementioned taxes would be in addition to all other taxes provided by law and must be levied pursuant to the provisions of the property tax code. So that's the purpose of the public hearing. And now I'll turn it back to you, Mayor, for discussion, public comment.
Any discussion or comments from the board? I think it's pretty clear as to what the purpose of this is. It's basically a protection for us.
Correct.
So, hearing none, I'll ask for any comments from the audience present. Hearing none, ask for any comments from those on Zoom. Please, what are we doing that by the chat feature? By raise your hand?
Anybody there can unmute themselves and speak on the matter if they choose to.
Yeah, please make sure they can hear you. So if you need to, you can unmute, and we can recognize you and speak to the matter. Okay, hearing none. Next steps.
Can I just mention that I did receive an email from Bree and Mandy Hagestead. This was sent at 6:42 this evening. The subject line was January 12th public hearing comments, questions, but the comments or the content of the comments and questions pertain to the Experior project. So, council, I don't know if I need to read those into the record, or we can just
No,
postpone those until later in the meeting.
that's my opinion, yes. So they don't need, they're not part of this. It was misunderstanding.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, just to be clear, so the comments you received are not pertinent towards this, and therefore will be delayed until we convene the full village board.
Correct.
Any further comments, questions? Next step,
Would be
Counselor?
to adjourn the public hearing. Be a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Vishki.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Thank you very much. We will now go and give our clerk here a minute.
Okay, just a second here.
When you're ready.
Next.
In the meantime, just a reminder, I didn't mention it, if you have cell phones, any other devices that make noise, please mute those.
Okay.
Okay. Call the Schaumburg Village Board meeting to order for Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Vishki.
Present.
Trustee Madej.
Present.
Trustee Dunham.
Present.
Trustee Sullivan.
Present.
Trustee Conley.
Present.
Trustee Kozak.
Here.
President Daley.
Present. All present and accounted for. And I'd like to ask Trustee Madej to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Madej. Next item is the approval of minutes from December 8th, 2020.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Will the village clerk please poll the board?
Trustee Vishki.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item is approval of expenditures. You have expenditures in the amount of $7,113,190.06 for approval.
Move to approve the expenditures as presented. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the expenditures as presented. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Vishki.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item is liquor license requests. We have none for this evening. We will move to the consent agenda, and that will be read in its entirety. Voted on as one motion to approve. If you wish to discuss an item further, please indicate that when the item is read by the village clerk so that it can be removed from the consent agenda and discussed further under committee reports. Otherwise, all items will be approved as presented on the consent agenda in one motion to approve. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Number 1, Engineering and Public Works Committee. A, the motion would be to adopt an ordinance amending Title VII, Chapter 74 and 75, various schedules, Parkside Drive. B, the motion would be to accept the Parkside Drive and bypass storm sewer system, public improvements, and accompanying resolution, and direct staff to obtain a bill of sale from the Urban Street Group for all public improvements being accepted. C, the motion would be to approve completion of the plans and specifications for bidding of the 2021 Street Improvement Program. D, the motion would be to award the bid for the acoustical treatment renovations at the Prairie Center for the Arts Project to the lowest possible bidder, Manusco General Contracting of Fox Lake, Illinois, in the amount of $174,788. E, the motion would be to approve waiver of competitive bidding and award the installation of iWave air purifiers in the village facilities to Hayes Mechanical, Inc. of Chicago, Illinois, in the amount of $52,177. 2, finance, legal, administrative, and general government. A, the motion would be to approve the Finance Department monthly report for November 2020. B, the motion would be to authorize a $10 business license account fee for the Schaumburg Business Association for an estimated total of $50,000 and approve a resolution authorizing the execution of the 2021 Partnership Agreement and Economic Services. C, the motion would be to authorize the village manager to execute an extension to the brokerage agreement with Entree Commercial of Arlington Heights, Illinois, for the brokering of the 55 acres at the southwest corner of Irving Park and Rodenburg Roads, and approve the required resolution. D, the motion would be to authorize the village manager to approve the CDBG CV-1 public service grant allocations for programs and services to respond to the impacts of the pandemic. E, the motion would be to refer the revised temporary COVID-19 emergency sick leave policy for employees of the Village of Schaumburg to the Committee of the Whole. F, the motion would be to approve membership in the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, and that membership dues in the amount of $2,804.15 be paid. G, the motion would be to direct staff and legal counsel to continue discussions with Sci-Fi Networks and negotiate an agreement for the use of right-of-way. H, the motion would be to approve the monthly budget status report for December 2020. 3, Committee of the Whole. The motion would be to approve the proposed revisions to the personnel manual. B, the motion would be to accept the multi-year capital improvement plan and approve the projects for the years 2021 and 22 for incorporation into the budget. 4, Public Safety Committee. The motion would be to adopt an ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 33, Section 33.116 and 33.118 relative to duties of department and members and duties of the fire chief. 5, Transportation Committee. The motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute an intergovernmental agreement with Cook County for the Invest in Cook County grant program for the mid-block pedestrian crossing improvement project. B, the motion would be to amend ordinance Title 7, Chapter 75, Schedule 1, no parking at any time, and adopt ordinance Title 7, Chapter 75, Schedule 3, no parking for other specified periods regarding permitted parking, Thacker Street. 4, Planning, Building, and Development Committee. The motion would be to approve a contract extension with Chastain and Associates, LLC, in an amount not to exceed $42,976 for engineering consulting services for the Community Development Engineer position through April 30th, 2021, and approve the required resolution. B, the motion would be to approve the proposed amendment to Chapter 154 zoning of the municipal code pertaining to off-street parking and loading. 7, zoning board of appeals. The recommendation would be to approve an amendment to the municipal code, Title 15, Chapter 154, zoning pertaining to video gaming cafes. B, the motion would be to deny a parking variation for new stone design, 906 Lunt Avenue.
Poll, please. At the owner's request.
8, project review group. The motion would be to approve a site plan amendment for site, building, and landscape modifications for Holiday Inn Express, 40 North Martingale Road. 9, electoral commission. The motion would be to approve the waiver by special permission with the conditions of the electrical commission to Chapter 152 of the Municipal Electric Code, Algonquin at Plum Grove Apartments, located at 2450 North Plum Grove Road. 10, resolutions. The motion would be to adopt as resolution number 21-001, authorizing the village manager to execute a professional services agreement with Chastain and Associates, LLC, to provide interim staffing for the position of community development engineer. B, resolution number 21-002, authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute an intergovernmental agreement with Cook County for the Invest in Cook grant program. C, the resolution would be to adopt, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number 20-003, authorizing approval of funding to Schaumburg Business Association for economic development services. D, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number 21-004, approving a real estate brokerage agreement extension for southwest corner of Irving Park and Rodenberg Roads. E, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number 21-005, accepting the Parkside Drive and bypass storm sewer system public improvements. 11, ordinances. A, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-001, proposing the establishment of Nitty Schaumburg Development Special Service Area, District 211 property in the village of Schaumburg, Cook and DuPage counties, Illinois, and providing for a public hearing and other procedures in connection therewith. B, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance 21-002, amending Title 11, Chapter 112, Alcoholic Beverages, and Title 15, Chapter 154, Zoning of the Municipal Code pertaining to video gaming cafes. C, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-002-3. Number in here. Ordinance number 21-003, granting a site plan amendment for site, building, and landscape modifications for Holiday Inn Express, 40 North Martingale Road. D, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-004, amending Title 15, Chapter 154, zoning of the municipal code pertaining to off-street parking and loading. E, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-005, amending Title 7, Chapter 75, Schedule 1, no parking anytime, and Schedule 3, no parking for other specified periods, Thacker Street. F, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-006, amending Title 3, Chapter 33, Section 33.116 and 33.118 of the Schaumburg Village Code, amending duties of fire department and members and duties of the fire chief. G, The motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-007, amending Title 7, Chapter 74 and 75, various schedules, Parkside Drive. This concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you, Clerk. Appreciate that. Look for a motion to approve the consent agenda in one motion with item B under Zoning Board of Appeals removed for further discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Committee reports. We have the one item from the Zoning Board of Appeals removed for discussion here. It's pertaining to a denial of a parking variation for new stone design at 906 Lunt Avenue. I will ask someone from staff. Are we going to do staff or Zoning Board first? What's your pleasure?
I don't see Harry.
He's
Is he on the phone? Oh.
Oh,
It's at your pleasure. It looks like Harry Ramondi, the zoning chair, is on the phone, or I can talk. It's up to you.
Harry, can you hear us? You have to unmute if you do.
How's he on mute on a phone?
You have to unmute.
Star 6, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Star 6.
Star 6, yeah.
Can Jack unmute him?
Okay, Harry, we're going to, if you do unmute, we'll come back to you. Oh, there you are.
There you go.
Okay,
Got it?
okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
You know the item we're on? We'd appreciate some, a little background of the hearing.
Well, the hearing was from December 2nd, and petitioner was looking for a reduction in the parking spaces. He had previously, 2 years before, it's required to have 12 parking spaces. And after discussion at that time, 2 years ago, it was compromised, basically put down to 8. Since then, the petitioner is, at this time, December 2nd, was looking to go down to 5 spaces. And actually, he wants to go down to 0. But anyway, there was a lot of discussion at our meeting. And being as there has also been some adjudication that has been going on for the 2 years during that time. And several members visiting the site, everyone was in agreement that the variance was not justifiable and that the petitioner should straighten out his parking in the back and allow for the 8 spots. And it's, I guess maybe in this case, it's a price to pay for being successful, which is great, but you also have to be cognizant of your neighbors and respectful. And there was also a gentleman that presented his case, a neighbor next door, with regards to issues with chemicals being used with the manufacturing of the material of the stone and so on. So that was all in the minutes, if you've read that. So basically, we all agreed that, you know, we've gone through this 3 times now, and it's time to make it right and abide by the ordinance and the rules that are governing in the industrial park like everyone else. That's basically it.
Did staff want to add any additional comments for that?
I really don't have any additional comments to add. I am available for questions. I guess the one thing I would add is that there's some discussion in the minutes about some code violations. Those are being handled. There was one where there was a drain that was not operating properly, as I understand, inside, and that was there was some liquid being drained outside. Our plumbing inspector did speak with the property owner about that, and that has since been corrected since the zoning hearing.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, you are the petitioner?
Yes.
Okay, you want to come up and speak to the subject? Okay, so we just need you to give your full name and address for the record.
Yeah, I'm Greg Munich. I'm the owner of New Stone Design.
We're got enough distance, you can probably drop your hands
Okay.
if you want. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm the owner of New Stone Design, and I'm Greg Munich. And I just came, I know already the decision, but I want to say then, before we purchased this building, like 5 years ago, we saw the big yard. We applied for the permits. We're doing everything with the permits. We're not using any chemicals. We fabricate the stone, and we use only polish, water and polishing machine. Then we not use any chemicals, nothing. It's not possible with our job. Anybody can step by. And one time we've got a problem. My guys remove a little bit of water because we got a pump was broken and was like only emergency, because we got the water everywhere. Then we pump it out, but we fix already. The plumbing inspector came out, and he see that everything is done right, And we purchased another building across the street, to extend our business. We're paying lots of taxes, and I don't know what else I can say. We're doing everything right. Only our problem is our neighbor. He keep calling on us. He give us very hard time. He don't like Polish people. We are all working there, Polish people. We bring Lara business for Schaumburg. And the problem is only our neighbor. In our neighborhood, I can show you like 35 buildings, doesn't have the required for the parking, And our backyard is fenced in, and nobody never come. And our customers, we got like 2-3 customers a day, and they're using the other parking across the street. And if they park on the street. Then nobody going on the back and walk around to the front door. And we did fence, everything. I don't know what I can say. We did everything right. We always put the permits, We do a lot of things. We do outside, landscaping, everything. We purchased the building across the street. We put a lot of money for the inside and outside. And I don't know. I feel not good, because I'm not from this country. And our neighbor give us hard time.
Yeah, let
and
me just say, I did not detect any of that in here, so we've got all the minutes, all the comments that have been
Yes,
made. Your next door neighbor has expressed his concern is over potential chemicals and what happens when you cut the slabs and how all that, and certainly that is a concern that from an environmental standpoint, but that's not what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, we're talking about the parking, yeah.
We're talking about the parking tonight. So
But we're not
strictly
using any chemicals.
Parking related and not related to what you actually do with the slabs.
We already start cleaning, we remove already like 10 containers. I pay like, this is material what we can use, but we throw everything to the garbage. We pay like 15,000 for the container, and we need to keep doing. But like I said, right now is winter, and everything is fenced in, and we don't have any customer going around the shop to park his car. Everybody park on the front or across the street where we got the main showroom. Then,
Okay.
if we can do it to 5, it's okay. If not, we're gonna follow the rules, and we're gonna, keep it 8 or 9 space. But if it's possible, then.
Okay. So let me ask you to step away just for a second so I can, Julie, can you come back up here for a minute? Yeah. Don't go too far just yet. So, so the request, so the petitioner has a reduction from 12 to 8 currently.
Yes,
Okay. And now he would like to go down to 5 spaces.
that is correct.
And the impression I get from everything I look at, it appears the real issue comes down that his business is going well, doing a great job. He's got a lot of good people are coming in and buying his product, and unfortunately just probably does not have a sufficient amount of storage for what he's looking for, and therefore, because he feels he doesn't have enough, or he's not getting the volume of parking, that he would like to use some of those parking spaces for that storage.
Well, I think that's partially correct, but within the zoning district, you are allowed to store materials outside. They do need to be screened, and in fact, the business owner did purchase another property across the street, as he said, which is supposed to be a storage yard, but it does need to be fenced in and screened, and that has not yet been done. And then some of the materials stored on the side of the building would not be within a screened-in area. And there's some pictures in your packet that show that. So I think, staff's concern is that there are areas that he's going to store materials in, continue to store materials in, that are disruptive to the adjacent property owner. He is right. We have received numerous complaints. They did testify at the public hearing. And so zoning board took that, those concerns into account, but that even if a variation to go down to 5 was granted, we suspect that he will not be able to comply with that based on the current operations. Really just think the concern is that he needs to find a place to store materials within the confines of the zoning requirements.
Okay. Did you want to comment any more on that?
On the building across the street, 3090 Wright Boulevard, we applied for the permit for the fence. We got the permit, but we don't do it yet. We're planning to do it this, before summer came, but it was COVID, and we just stopped operation for a little bit longer time. And now I got the permit till May, and I can promise then I'm gonna make it. And as soon the weather is gonna get better, I can make a fence across the street to finish up. We got the permit for the fence, but we didn't do. It's still okay. Permit
So you have the
finish in May.
permit for which location, the 906 or the?
906 is the fence is done, and the
Okay.
permit was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 4.5.
Okay. So it's the new location, and what does it refer, the new location is at 1390?
1390 Wright Boulevard.
Wright
yeah.
Boulevard, okay.
Yeah, and we got the permit till May, I think, 21st.
But that does not include the fence at this point?
Yeah, the permits include the fence. I got the permit for the
All right.
fence.
Well, I understand, but is the fence up at this point?
No, not yet.
No, okay, it's still not up.
But I can make it
Okay.
like in April, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, weather is an issue, understand that, but the fence has been applied for. Okay. Then let me speak to Julie for just a minute, if I may, and then I'll turn this thing over. So I have to admit to being just a little confused here. So he's currently in 906, looking for the variation at 906.
Correct.
But also has purchased 1390 Wright Boulevard.
Correct.
Basically kitty corner. And not asking for variation or anything there.
Correct. There's nothing, no actions being requested or request for that property.
Okay.
But
All
the
right.
businesses do, but they work in conjunction.
Yes.
The operations
Yeah.
are on both sites.
Understood. Okay. Questions from the board? Trustee Madey?
I don't have the paperwork in front of me, I'm sorry.
Oh.
So, quick question, how many employees are working at these buildings?
I'm going to let the owner answer that.
It's like four or five employers on the back, on the shop, and 2 employers at the office.
Okay, so,
Like 6 people and plus.
so 4 or 5 in one, and then 2?
Yeah, and we got in the morning truck, like 2-3 trucks coming to load the material, and they just loading and go for the installation. Yeah.
And where do they all park? Where do your employees?
No, they coming inside the shop, they loading the granite, and they go for the installation for the customers.
So-
They not park the cars, they coming on trucks, they take it material, and they just go for the installation.
So there's nobody in the building all day?
No, we got only like a six guys working at the shop all the time.
Working, okay, but
Yeah.
where do they park? Do they park on the street,
Yeah, they park on the street, and they park on the side of the building.
side of the building on your private property?
Yes, And we can also park across the street for our new place, yeah. But there is only 6 cars, but never our customers go behind the shop and park and walk around, because it doesn't make any sense. Nobody want to do it,
So where do the customers park then?
They park on the street, yeah. There
So
is only
your-
one side on
Your
our
staff-
side.
Your staff and the customers park on the street?
No, we got like 2 cars, 2 our guys park on the right side, and 2 guys park across the street. And we got like always like 2-3 places on the front empty for the customer. I think this area is very tight with the parking. You can see everywhere. You can see a lot of mechanic shops. They don't have any parking spots. Not even 2-3.
Yeah.
We got always.
We're aware of the parking
Yeah.
issues that go on down there. Okay.
So it's not like a retail, you don't have customers coming all day?
No, I get like 2-3 customers a day, you know. It's like every customer in 2 hours, you know.
You mostly take orders and then
Yeah,
deliver?
because we're going to measure, bring the sample to the job site,
Okay.
measure everything. They just coming to, you know, to see the
No further
material
questions.
sometimes.
So the document refers to, it could be, you know, to get anywhere from 3 to 7. It's going to vary as to, you know, how many come in during the day. Other questions, comments, Trustee Conley?
I just wanted to confirm, and I think we've done that with what Trustee Madej is. I support the zoning board in this, in that I believe there in the zoning testimony, it said there were 5 employees in the one building and 1 in the other. Now you're saying there's 5 or 6 guys in the back and a couple of administrative people?
No, it's 6 guys working on the 906, but we need to walk to the other side. So
Right,
if you
so
need
at
to bring the
906,
materials,
There's 6 guys working in the shop
yes.
and a couple of people in the office?
No, two people in the office.
So
Me and
now-
one girl, yeah.
You and, okay, so now we're up to 8 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see us giving any variance on this because I have no problem with the customers parking in the street. I bought granite from a different company there, it's probably 15 years ago, I don't know that they're still there, and that's how it was. You went on a Saturday morning and, you know, it's crowded in there, but you park on the street because you're going to walk in. You're not going to go to the back. But there's no, all of those businesses have to have customers have the ability to come in. And I think it's better for customers to park on the street than try to navigate those driveways and the stuff that's in back of those buildings.
Yeah.
But if you've got 8 people in your building, you need 8 parking spaces for your employees, in my opinion. So, I mean, I
We
think
park
it's
also on the other side, on the right side of
and
the
all
building.
of the
yeah.
pictures that we have, that you submitted or that our staff submitted, and we had people from zoning board that went out there, didn't see the cars on the side. They saw stuff on the side. They saw scrap materials on the side of the building, not cars.
No, we don't have scrap material on the side.
Well,
We're
I have-
parking the cars on the,
Well, then, maybe I'm not understanding. I have to support the,
you can come during
The
the day and you
zoning
can see
board-
then it's like always space on the front of the building.
I have to support
I understand, yeah.
the zoning board on this, because if you have 8 employees in one building, you should have parking spaces for your employees.
If we're gonna
Other
have-
questions from the board? Trustee Sullivan?
Julie, are they going to be using both of their buildings in the future or just one?
No, they're using both now, so it's my understanding, and I'll let the applicant confirm this, that they first purchased the one on Lunt at 906. They outgrew that facility, they need more area for storage, and so they purchased the building on Wright in order to provide a storage yard. However, and perhaps this is where we disagree, is that staff feels like they're still using the property on Lunt primarily for storage, and when we have visited the site, there has not been space for any parking really at Lunt either. I think the hope was that the Wright Boulevard location would provide additional storage for the business.
So you understand that you have to move your stuff that you have in the lot at 906, you have to move it across the street to the 1390.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, to move the material.
Parking spaces here and move that stuff over.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying now, Julie. Thank you. Thank you.
Other questions, comments from the board?
I've got one. It
Yes,
doesn't
Trustee Dunham.
relate specifically to parking, but when you cut the granite, what do you use for coolant?
So we use the CNC machine, with that's the water jet.
What do you use for coolant? I understand that you use a CNC machine.
Mm-hmm.
What do you use to cool the material while you're cutting it?
To cool, what's that mean with the cool?
To
Sorry.
make it cold so that it doesn't, so it doesn't overheat.
No, that's the stone. The stone you cut only with the cold water, you don't need
That was my question, cold
Mhm.
water only.
Cold water,
So
yeah,
see,
uh-huh.
that demolishes the argument about chemicals.
It's cold water, but we got a water recycling system, then we reuse the water.
That's what I thought, I just wanted to be sure. Thank you.
That's how it looks, yeah.
Other questions, comments from the board?
I'll make a motion to concur with recommendation of the zoning board.
Second?
So there's a motion and a second to deny your request, basically to concur with what the zoning board has said and leave your, basically leave your variation at 8, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And not agree to reduce the parking spaces down to 5.
Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those, I'm sorry.
If this is denied, is there a time limitation on how quickly he could come back and reapply?
I do not think so, but I would have to check to confirm.
Okay.
I ask because if he's able to modify his operation and move more activities over into that other building, then the circumstances could change and he could come back and reapply.
Yeah, he could
Okay.
provide some new evidence, I think, for that.
Okay. So you can have that conversation offline. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. That means your petition has been denied.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you guys give us some time because it's winter to, because.
You can work with staff on that. Just be aware that their staff will be generous, they understand, but there will be a time frame involved,
Okay, thank you.
okay?
And if I could state, though, you do need to comply with your current zoning in order to be in adjudication, okay? So you
Yeah.
got a handicap place, you know what to do, right? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next item is comments from the audience. There being no others here in the room, we will look to anyone on Zoom that wishes to comment. Please unmute yourself. Again, that is *6, and we will hold forth for any information pertinent towards the village of Schaumburg.
Hello,
Yes, Danny, how are you?
hi Mayor, how are you, sir?
Okay, so it passed. Just want to make sure you're clear, okay? Go ahead.
Trustees, Mayor, thank you. I just had a question for Mr. Lance Molina.
Yes.
I received an email from Mr. Wenger about 11:30 a.m., sir, and I just wanted to make sure that, am I supposed to do anything or not? I enjoyed the meeting, but I just wanted to confirm before the meeting was concluded. He mentioned something about staff correcting the resolution, and
Right.
I found the document in the resolution hyperlink, but I didn't find it in the PRG, or maybe it's vice versa, so I just wanted to make sure that while I have your guys' valuable time, was I supposed to do something or not?
No, the clarifications that you were concerned about were made in the final documents that were approved by the board, including the clarification regarding permit fees and building code requirements, as well as the missing resolution because there were 3 extensions. So it's all clarified, and that's why it didn't need to be pulled off consent.
Yes, we got all the correct information.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year's to all of you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we will move on.
It's
No.
Sam Sharon
So- oh, I'm
has
sorry.
a
Oh.
hand printout, but I don't know if that,
Who does?
up in the
Upper
upper
right.
corner.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that person wants to speak, but they need to
Okay, looks like,
unmute.
I apologize, I'm looking at great distance here. Sam Sharon, it looks like you're on mute, but there's a hand, I assume that's a hand wave. If you are looking to speak, please unmute yourself. No?
I think that's the image of the selection tool that Jack has.
Oh,
Ah,
my
okay.
apologies.
So-
Yep, there it is. There we go, okay.
All
Oops, sorry about that.
So-
Technology.
Technology.
Yes, love that technology, okay.
So we
Go
need
ahead.
these written comments that were submitted.
Sure.
So if appropriate, I'll just go ahead and read
Okay,
this.
I just want to make sure that we had nobody else on the Zoom, so I know you have something. Go ahead.
So, as I mentioned earlier, this is an email that was received at 6:42 this evening from Bree and Mandy Hagestead. There's no address provided, but from the comments, I'll assume that they either live on Long Avenue or in the area of the village of Roselle, immediately south of the railroad tracks. But the comments are as follows. What is in place to protect our properties along the proposed Experior site from flooding? Also, what is placed to protect our wells from contamination due to underground gas tanks and diesel runoff? Also, will our taxes reflect on the drastic reduction of our property values due to this project? Thank you, Mandy Hagestead.
Okay, if you're on here, which I think you might be, just let you know that there will be public hearings that will be held on this property, and those items will be discussed. And certainly you'll have an opportunity if you wish to speak about those directly, you will. Thank you for letting us know ahead of time. Anything further?
I have nothing further.
No. Okay. Seeing no more comments from the audience, we'll move on. Council report.
Yeah, so as I have been, I will be asking for a motion to extend the proclamation declaring a local state of emergency originally made on March 20th, 2020 until the adjournment of the next meeting of the Village of Schaumburg Board of Trustees later this month in 2021. The mayor has updated the emergency order and it's ready for approval.
Move to accept the proclamation as stated.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve as stated. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bishke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no
all I have,
nays.
Mayor.
I'm sorry?
That's all I have.
Okay, 6 ayes, no nays, motion carries, thank you. President's report. I have a few items to read into the agenda here. First one is it's actually from Kathleen, Hinkleman, nursing supervisor, and it's about a generous donation from Mr. and Mrs. James Marshall here in the village that they made to the medical equipment lending program, a $500 donation, extremely generous. We appreciate it. Choose to help maintain equipment loaned out and also purchase new equipment when necessary. Again, very generous. We thank them very much. Karen Robles, I see you're out there, don't see your face. I assume you don't let your staff sit in pajamas, do you? You know, it is getting late, right? So, okay.
There she is.
Ah, there you are, okay.
No pajamas.
At any rate, I did want to congratulations on maintaining a bronze level bicycle-friendly community designation from the League of American Bicyclists, once again. So thank you very much. No, we have great concern, you and others on staff that do a good job in making and helping to maintain or make sure that that's there. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. I wanted to make note, I can't remember if everyone was notified, but our own Brian Townsend, village manager here, has been accepted on an appointment to serve on the Illinois Municipal League's Revenue and Taxation Policy Committee. So I believe, were you on this already?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's a reappointment. Doesn't say that specifically, but is a reappointment. And just want to say congratulations. I assume that is in order and not so sorry, but you know, good for you. I have another one here from, this is from, let's see, Dennis Makowicz, Muchowicz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I am not good at this.
Close
George is always so much better than me on this.
Amy, what?
Muchowicz.
It might be Mukovich, I don't know.
Okay. Any rate, they sent a letter to Chief Walters thanking him for the life-saving efforts of his response team. And so he really wanted to write this letter and say thank you very much. This happened on Saturday, November 28th. Apparently, he had just left his wife and 2 sons on the first floor. He's walking up the second floor, blacked out. His crashing sound caused his son to run upstairs, found him unresponsive, turning purple. They called 911 while his son was performing CPR. Professionals responded quickly. Thanks to their alert and decisive actions, initiated the AED, which resulted in reversing my impending death, all while showing genuine passion and to keep my distraught family hopeful. Likewise, police officers also responded were the finest example of Schaumburg. Then, of course, they had the trip to the hospital. He's back home recovering from the experience and is very, very thankful and appreciative for what these fine workers were able to take care of with Chief Walters and even support from the police department. So thank you very much. That's all I have. New business, or manager's report, sorry.
I just have one item this evening for the board and an announcement for the public. At the advice of legal counsel, I've been asked to read this statement related to the proposed Experior Tax Increment Financing District. Please be advised that the eligibility report and redevelopment plan and project relative to the village's proposed Experior Tax Increment Financing District are now available for public inspection. Said documents can be reviewed on the village website, at the office of the village clerk, Marilyn Carr, or the office of the Director of Economic Development, Matt Frank, at the Schaumburg Village Hall, 101 Schaumburg Court, Schaumburg, Illinois, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. For further information relative to said documents, please contact Matt Frank, Director of Economic Development for the Village of Schaumburg, at mfrank@schaumburg.com or 847-923-3853. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. New business, any new business items? No. Unfinished business. Yes, trustee.
Well, basically just to mention that we get Smashburger back in town.
Yeah.
It opens up this Friday.
Yes.
I'm excited. I love hamburgers. So.
There you go.
They were in town at one time, but I guess this is a new style. They're also going to be serving breakfast there. It's one of the first locations that's going to be serving breakfast. So,
okay.
Got to check it out. Pardon me?
When do they open?
Friday.
Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah. And they did encourage us to drop by, say hello. They're not doing any formal ribbon cutting, trying to maintain the proper social distancing of that sort. So if you get a chance, please certainly stop in, introduce yourself, say hello, and welcome them to town. So it should be interesting. I've heard good things about them.
Yeah.
So,
Very good.
you know,
Very good.
yeah.
I liked them.
I was going to say, it was one of Marilyn's
Okay.
favorites, I remember.
French
Well,
fries and the
for those that
salted
haven't been
caramel
there
fries.
like me, is definitely going to have
Let's
one
go
on.
on Friday.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, George, we'll do that. Any other trustee comments, mentions? Trustee Dunham.
I would like to say that the mayor did a heck of a good job this morning on his State of the Schaumburg Union message. I think he covered a lot of space in a relatively short period of time, and was very, very impressed.
Well, thank you very much.
Tom, if you see him, tell him, okay?
Yeah, okay, will do. I have to tell you that Allison did a great job in putting that together and then put up with my edits, which were, we cut from 15 pages down to 13, so you could tell I did a few. But she did a great job in helping put that together. I'm very ecstatic. I love the ending. She hit it right on the money, I think, of what we wanted to convey, that the village is, you know, very positive. We've got a lot of businesses out there that are working hard to stay afloat and stay positive themselves. And, you know, 2021 is going to be a better year. So, Trustee Bischke.
Yeah, I just want to echo Trustee Dunham's comments and yours as well. I mean, I thought it was a very uplifting message, giving the world we live in today. It's certainly easy to get depressed, but when you actually sit down and take a half an hour or so and think about all the things, even with the loss of revenues that we've had and had to deal with, but all the things that the Village of Schaumburg has been able to do, and things that we're planning to do in 2021, it's very exciting and it was a very positive message. So I think you did a great job.
Thank you. just conveying what has been going on and what all staff has been doing here. And so again, it's, a lot of hard work by a lot of people, so. Any other comments? No? Then I look for an adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Vishkin.
Aye.
Trustee Madey.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.